Good afternoon, Packers fans. Aaron Negler here with your Packers Daily Chat, coming to you live on the Cheesehead TV's social channels. It is Monday, but more importantly, it is the start of Packers training camp. We made it, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. The green and gold took to Ray Nitschke Field earlier this morning, but not until after we had heard from Brian Gutekunst and Matt LaFleur. Obviously, topic A number one was Jordan Love's contract extension, how it is not yet finalized, and the Packers starting quarterback was in attendance but not practicing. We'll obviously talk a lot more about that, along with everything else that transpired there at Ray Nitschke Field on the first day of practice. But at first, I just want to kind of marinate in the fact that we finally arrived at the start of training camp. You know, when it's say mid-May and it feels like training camp's never going to get here, I'm just thinking back to that moment and remembering kind of that despair, that despondent feeling of, oh God, got all this way to go. And now it's here. Boom. So that's great. Yes, training camp has started, and the shareholders meeting, I believe, has just wrapped up. Obviously, that took place later in the afternoon there at Lambeau Field. And one fun piece of information: Mark Murphy announced that Peyton Manning will be doing a Green Bay Packers documentary with Omaha Productions. Now, Manning's been in town a few times over the last couple of years, so you got to think he's probably been laying the groundwork for that. So that's an exciting development. I mean, everything Omaha has done around the NFL so far has been pretty damn outstanding. So very much looking forward to that. Very much looking forward to chatting with you fine folks, Packers fans worldwide, about everything that transpired on day one of Packers training camp. But first, you know what it is. We got to give a shout out to our good friends over at Ticket King. That's right. Based in Wisconsin since 1992, Ticket King is located across the street from Lambeau Field on Oneida. They're happy to help you find just the right tickets for Packers games, from larger groups to single tickets, both home and away. They partner with local Green Bay businesses for tailgating and bus transportation to the games, so you don't have to worry about driving or parking. They're even open on game day for last-minute tickets or possible upgrades. They even have a drive-through window. And if you're not in Green Bay, no problem. Just use the Ticket King link on the Cheesehead TV homepage, in our app, or indeed in the description of this video. Don't use Ticketmaster, StubHub, or SeatGeek, none of these national companies. Use a company based in Wisconsin since the early 90s, Ticket King, for all your Packers ticket needs. Do it, people. You know you want to see the green and gold kicking some ass on a football field, either at Lambeau Field or any one of the stadiums that they're visiting this season. You can do so if you get tickets from Ticket King. What's up, everybody? Good to see everyone chiming in, mixing it up. I'm just going to really quickly go through some notes here about everything that we, kind of got reports of happening there at Ray Nitschke Field, and I'll dive into your questions. Obviously, just caveat this right off the top: I am not yet in Green Bay. I will be in Green Bay starting for Friday's practice. Thursday is an off day. That's my travel day. I'll be at Ray Nitschke Field starting Friday. But as of today, these next 2-3 practices, this is all stuff that has been reported and or talked about by people who were there. So, and hey, shout out to the beat. It's great to see everyone out there again. Rob, Matt, the guys at 97.3 The Game got their new setup there in the stands to do 9 to noon. Clearly, got Wes Hodkowitz and company with the team's digital team, got you covered there. So it's just nice to see all those folks. The Green Bay Press Gazette in the house, Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. Always good to see the local beat in attendance and covering this team for us, the fans, all over the world. Obviously, again, top of mind, number one topic on the day, and I'm sure I'll get some questions about it. Jordan Love does not practice. Now, I covered this a bit on a video here on the channel earlier this afternoon. If you haven't watched that, I encourage you to do so. Short version is it's pretty damn smart on Jordan's part. Long version is it's really, really damn smart on Jordan's part not to participate until this deal gets done. It's great that he's there. Smart that he's not participating in practice. And away we go. One other piece of news: Zach Tom was activated off the physically unable to perform list earlier this morning. He did participate in practice today, though in a limited capacity. Wasn't really involved in any of the team stuff, and especially into the kind of going against each other drills there in the red zone, etc. But good to see Zach Tom stay on the PUP was very limited. As far as the butcher's bill, the injury list as it is. Jaden Reed has a toe injury that apparently he did suffer during that camp, that a youth camp that he held over last weekend. Caleb Jones is dealing with a hamstring injury. Corey Ballantyne also dealing with a hamstring injury. Donovan Jennings has a knee injury of some type. Tucker Kraft still coming along from that torn pectoral muscle. Obviously, not quite as far along as Zach Tom is yet, but hopefully, I know Brian did get asked about Kraft's recovery today and said, it's going to be a little bit yet, but I think it sounds like they're hopeful that he'll be out there in a week or so, maybe 10 days. And then finally, one name that really hadn't been in the mix, so to speak, prior to today's practice was Marshawn Lloyd, who did not practice today due to a hip injury, though he has not been placed on either of the injury lists. He's not on PUP and he is not on the NFI. So good to see that he is, going to be somewhat limited as far as his stay on the sideline. Hopefully they get him out there sooner rather than later. With Jordan Love not practicing, that meant Sean Clifford was your starting quarterback, at least the first quarterback under center. Both QBs got lots of reps, obviously, with only 2 quarterbacks in camp. Something that Brian was asked about, if they had any plans to bring in another arm. Sounds like not at this point, which would lead one to think, they don't expect Jordan Love to be on the sideline for very long. So Clifford was your nominal starter today. Pratt ran with the 2s and 3s. Your opening offensive line, which I found pretty rote, other than maybe the choice at right tackle. You had Rasheed Walker at left tackle, Elton Jenkins at left guard, Josh Myers at center, Sean Ryan at right guard, and then Andre Dillard got the call at right tackle. Now, of course, again, this is because Zach Tom is not available. They didn't want to put the kid in there. Clearly, Jordan Morgan, they could have rolled him out there at right tackle, but Andre Dillard, the free agent acquisition from Tennessee, gets the first call, so to speak, to step in for Zach while he is still recovering from the torn pec. Interesting that Elton Jenkins apparently throughout the practice got quite a few reps with the starters at center. And this wasn't just apparently, according to Andy Herman, who kind of remarked upon this a couple times on Twitter, apparently wasn't just, we're going to throw him in there as a, because we need a backup and someone has to do some emergency reps, etc. We did see him there a few times last summer, but nothing kind of regular. Apparently that was not the case today. Not only did he get quite a number of reps at center, he got a number of reps at center with the starters. Certainly something to watch. Certainly something to see how it transpires over the course of these next couple of weeks. On the defensive side of the ball, Javon Bullard was starting next to Xavier McKinney at safety, pretty much, I think, as most people expected. And then at corner, Eric Stokes was opposite Jair Alexander. Again, feels like that's what most people assumed was going to be happening out of the gate. We'll see how long that lasts, if there's much of a kind of rotation at either of those positions. I suspect at safety we'll see quite a bit. And then of the 3 kickers, yes, they still have 3 kickers on their roster. James Turner was the only one who got any attempts today. Took all 6 kicks, made 4 of them, missed from 43 and 46 yards, both wide right. So I would tend to think the plan is most likely to get these guys a day each throughout this week and maybe the next couple weeks. Brian said someone's got to jump up and win that job. Now, I've said many times, I suspect it's more a case that, Tucker Carlson has to lose this job. But we'll see. We'll see what happens over the course of the next week or 2 with the kickers. Let's get to your comments, shall we? Just like I said, just a very brief overview of everything that I perused today online. But now let's chat. What's up? Mimsy, thanks for the super chat, buddy. Shareholder vote to ban Ben Brust. Why we got to start with the Ben Brust slander? Look, he's doing what he can to generate some kind of vibe or buzz for his show down there with ESPN Milwaukee. Godspeed to him. I don't find it particularly entertaining, funny, engaging, any of it, but apparently there's an audience for it. So Godspeed, man. Ben, thanks for the super chat and for being a Care the G Club member. Appreciate you. Hi, Nags. Back from the Euros break. England. Today is my 40th, and I've got COVID. But Kenny made my day with his extension. Go, Pack, go. Ben, sorry to hear about the COVID. Hopefully you recover and are back out there sooner rather than later. And yes, Kenny getting extended and becoming essentially most likely a Packer for his career. That's a decent gift, right? Happy birthday. Hope you feel better very soon, man. And again, thanks for the support. Uncultured, thanks for the super chat, man. Training camp starts. KC gets an extension, and I rescued a kitty outside work this morning. Was a good day. You're just a modern day hero, Uncultured, and a damn good DJ, if I might add. Chris Dorsey, thanks for the super chat, man. Let the fun begin. 46 days until Brazil. Hashtag Super Bowl or bust. Woo, Super Bowl or bust already. I mean, I feel it, dog. I feel it. And 40, is it 46 days? I got to make sure my visa squared away. Good Lord, 46 days. I mean, I've got the plane ticket. I got the hotel, but yeah, I got to make sure I can get in the country. Frank, thanks for the super chat, man. I heard both sides are close on a deal, but are just dealing with guarantees, etc. How much do you think Love will get in guaranteed money? Random Packer, Terry Glenn. Terry Glenn's a good one. Man, I don't know. As far as guarantees go, it's really dependent on, what's guaranteed for injury, what's the signing bonus, well, how many years is it, because that will determine how the signing bonus is spread out, etc. It'll be a lot. Let's put it that way. I have zero doubt it's going to be a lot. And one thing I will touch on real quickly about Love's deal, and something that Brian said in his press conference was, he said something, I'm kind of paraphrasing here, but so, one of the things they're working on, and I'm not going to say the hiccups or the snags in the negotiations, but it's an intricate thing that they are working with Jordan's people on, is making sure that the Packers can continue to put a team around Jordan Love as they continue to grow / ascend. And that's probably a nod to the fact that they have the cheapest offense in the league, right? And this team is going to continue, hopefully, the idea is get better. These players are going to improve and develop and become stars. Well, they want to be able to keep that team together, at least the core of it, right? And they have to ensure that Jordan's contract doesn't become an albatross that makes it impossible for them to do so. So again, all signs point to this thing getting done in the next couple of days, but those are undoubtedly the types of things where, okay, not just the guarantees, but what does this mean? What are the cap hit ramifications for each year? And how can we carve out bits here and there to make sure that there's not a year where we're completely spiking the cap hit that kind of really hamstrings our ability to build a quality team around Jordan, which should allow him to win a bunch of games and get another contract and win a Super Bowl or 2 or 3 or 5 or whatever. That's the sell, right? So I do think, like I said, they're close, but these are the intricacies that are undoubtedly holding the deal up. Nick, thanks for being a Care the G Club member, buddy. Loved hearing that Jordan Morgan may battle it for right guard against Ryan. Hoping my boy Caleb bounces back and looks in at backup tackle and locks in at backup tackle. Yeah, I got to get Caleb out there, man. He missed too much time last summer. Don't need him missing time this summer. Yeah, Jordan Morgan getting out there at right guard, kind of rotating with Sean Ryan there, with the starters too. So it's a good start. We'll see how much look he gets, opportunity he gets once those pads come on, because that's obviously where you get to make your mark, right? That's where you're going to put the stuff on tape that's going to give the coaching staff the confidence in you to give you more opportunities. Oh, that will start next weekend. Dustin, thanks for the super chat, man. Great day on Shadow Lane after a great training camp and shareholders meeting. Hope your day is going great, Mr. Nagler. Go Pack Go. Dustin, it's going great, mostly because I just heard from you, buddy. I'm glad to hear you were at camp and at the shareholders meeting, and you're back home safe and sound at Shadow Lane. Let me tell you, you're unlike my friend Corey, who lives on Shadow Lane, who never goes and does any of that stuff. So it's good. I'm glad you're holding it down there. Frank, thanks for the super chat. I hated Tucker Carlson until he became a Packer. That feels over the top. And yeah, Anders Carlson. Did I say Tucker? Anders. Cheeto, what's up, man? How long do you plan on being in Brazil? I hope the food is incredible and the beer and the music. I hope I am there long enough to experience all that stuff. I'm in there. I fly in essentially Thursday morning. We have an event to meet up Thursday night. Game is Friday. I'm wrapping up coverage and everything and checking out of the hotel on Saturday midday, and then go to the airport and then fly out Saturday night. So not a ton of time in Brazil, but it should be fun. Go Pack. What's up, man? Which rookie will make the biggest impact early on? That's always a good question. I suspect Javon Bullard, mostly because he'll have the most opportunity to do so. I think Edrin Cooper, who was in the mix today, wasn't running particularly as a starter, but was there as a rotational guy for the most part throughout the proceedings of practice. And before anyone says anything, it's still very, 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 very early. But yeah, I think Javon Bullard will have the best chance to do so. That doesn't mean I don't think Jordan Morgan won't be out there at some point, or any of the other guys. Hell, it could end up being Kalen King for all we know. But yeah, I think fresh out of the gate, I'd say Javon Bullard, most likely. Kyle, thanks for the super chat, man. So glad for football to be back. I wonder if at any point over the last few days, Matt stuck his head in Brian's office and was like, Brian, come on. Well, fun that Matt was asked about the need to run with the two quarterbacks and get all your drill work done and kind of parse out your practice with only two when you thought you were going to have three. Apparently, Matt found out about it Saturday night, just like the rest of the Packers did. So he had one day to kind of alter his practice plan, and that's the job, and you have to do it. But yeah, I do think I don't think he's bugging Brian, but I'm sure he's constantly checking in about where things stand and how close they might be. Will Reed practice before preseason starts? Callum, yes. It sounds like the toe injury that he's dealing with isn't significant. He should be out there in a couple of days. I would be surprised if he's not out there before pads come on, which will be, I believe, on Sunday. So, yeah, it's not a significant injury. He was in the locker room this afternoon speaking with reporters. He said that's legit, nothing to worry about. Mostly just being cautious, and he'll be out there sooner rather than later. Joseph, thanks for the super chat, man. Once Love finalizes, how huge is it having our offensive and defensive leaders on long-term deals? I mean, it certainly sets the tone for your program, right? Those are your leaders, your guys that everyone is looking at and looking to. I really don't think it has as much of an effect in the locker room as maybe we make it kind of seem in the media and or on the outside. They're all professionals. They know what the score is. Sure, sounded like most every guy to a man in the locker room today was, saying, we completely understand why Jordan's not practicing, 100% behind him. It feels like he's already built that trust. So it's nice, no doubt about it. But ultimately, it doesn't mean a whole lot once they step on the field, right? You still got to perform, still got to produce, regardless of what's happening contractually with any of your teammates. Chris, thanks for the super chat, man. Love, I think you meant to say, we'll get that deal inked soon enough. No fret. Coming in town next week for first camp and family night experience. Can't wait. Sounds like I'll miss Carry the G by a few weeks. I'll be back. Go Pack Go. Yeah, Carry the G won't be on shelves for a couple weeks yet. But speaking of beer and the Packers, Corey and I will be at Anduzzi's this Saturday night in Green Bay at, I guess, around 7:30 p.m. On the upper deck outdoors. So if you're around for training camp, you're in the Green Bay area, mark your calendar, come on out Saturday night, drink some beer, talk some Packers. It's always a good time. We've done this the last couple of years. Always get a decent crowd, and it's a lot of fun loving Green Bay Packers fans. The vibe is cool. Like I said, it's always a good time. Hope to see you there Saturday, 7:30 at Anduzzi's. Be there. Dustin, what's up? What's your Kroll's order? About to walk over. I always get the Butterburger with everything, order of cheese curds, a side order of cottage cheese. And then if it's the middle of the day and I'm having lunch and like I have to go back to work at Lambeau, I will get a seltzer water. If it's the end of the evening and my day is done, then I get a Spotted Cow. That is literally what I order every single time I go. Aaron Harper, thanks for the super chat. Kenny's deal done. Bet Mr. Love deal done by Thursday or Friday. I agree. I think it'll be done by the end of the week, if not before. Good chance before. Mimsy, thanks for the super chat. Jordan is holding out for an ice cold Carry the G. You know what this means. You know what this. I know what you're trying to do. I understand that I'm an easy mark, right? So yes, Jordan Love definitely holding out for an ice cold Carry the G.
Well, we carry the G wherever we may be, so creamy and cold, and from the land of the green and gold.
I mean, I'm just a sucker. I'm too easy. It's too easy. It's too easy to get me going. Yes, a couple weeks away, but Gary the G will return to the Green Bay area very, very, very soon. And when it does, I should just walk one over to Jordan. I mean, obviously, that's what needs to happen there. Julia, I love it. This is my favorite comment ever. Hell yeah, cottage cheese. Sure, why not? Sure, absolutely. Hell yeah, cottage cheese, no doubt. All right, everybody, I'm going to have to get going. I cannot thank you enough for hanging out, talking Packers each and every day, Monday through Friday, right here on the Cheesehead TV social channels. Please do me a monster favor. Hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then tell your friends and tell your family. Cheesehead TV, we are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow. Go Pack, go.